Hey folks, Chris Waters here on the GameSpot stage live at E3 2014, where there are just a ton of beautiful, visually diverse games on display, but none of them look quite like Murasaki Baby, and this one's a treat for you, so please enjoy the demo that's about to happen here. Chris Jones joining me on stage from XDev at Sony Europe. Chris, welcome.
Hi, thanks.
Excited to have you guys here. Excited to check out Murasaki Baby, which is playable now for folks in America for the first time.
Yeah, for the first time in America.
Well, in who are here at the event and lining up at Sony booth to check it out.
Yeah?
Yeah, but we've got the demo here. We're going to check it out on Vita.
That's right.
You guys announced at Gamescom last year.
Yeah, August last year, yeah.
And it made quite a splash. How has it been in the months since, sort of, as people have an appetite for more Murasaki Baby?
It's just been a real pleasure. This game has just been a labor of love with my development team over Sonico over in Milan. And they're just great bunch of guys to work with, just so inspiring and so just brilliant at everything they do, basically. They execute brilliantly.
And right from the beginning, you see, like, this is not your, the control scheme here is really interesting. It's a really cool use of the touchscreen. You're holding her hand.
Yeah, exactly, and that is exactly the key point. So the whole idea of the game is to build up an emotional bond with the player and the baby, so that the player eventually starts to care for baby. So the backstory is basically that baby's looking for a mummy. She's having this bad dream, and she's not actually woken up. She thinks she has, but she hasn't. And she's had to be led through this world of nightmares. And you have to basically help protect baby through this journey. Mm-hmm. So all the way there's challenges and things like that. You have to kind of help baby through each situation. And for example, baby's afraid of the dark, so you have to light up the path for her.
So you're moving this light bulb along, clearing out the dark, revealing a figure with its own balloon, which you had to quickly chase away.
Yeah, so that was Tentacle Boy. He's a character on there's 4 chapters.
Say it again?
Tentacle Boy.
Tentacle Boy.
Yeah, so this is a little boy with a massive tentacle nose. Okay. It's actually a mask, but, and what it is basically each character on each level has like a tragic state that's part of their dream. And they have like emotions of their own, which you kind of adopt. So when you pop his balloon, you've actually gained his mood, which is fear. So baby's motion and everything changes, so she's scared. You touch the back screen like that, and it scares everything in the foreground. And you use that to solve puzzles in the game. So, for example, Tentacle Boy doesn't want you following him, so he's like holding this bridge up. You tap the back, and it scares him, and there you go.
Tentacle Boy's fear is a small girl with a toothy mouth above her eyeballs.
I mean, it scares me.
Yeah, I was going to say, that seems like a pretty universal one.
Yeah. I mean, why her mouth is on the top of her head, I'm not quite sure, but, let's go with it.
Well, no, I mean, it all fits in with this very eerie kind of almost Tim Burton-esque aesthetic that you guys have going here.
So the guy the artist is Parade, is a guy who actually draws everything by hand with a biro, and then we scan the artwork into the computer, and then we just touch it up in we colorize it and things. It's amazing how he actually works. He just doesn't make a mistake. He's a freak, but he's cool. So at this point in the game, you can see that like the stingers are kind of trying to get your balloon. The balloon's the most important bit, obviously it being purple baby. So it's Murasaki Baby. Murasaki's Japanese for purple. So just during this section, the baby kind of learns as she goes. So she's not just a character on the screen. She's sort of waiting for the player's input to give her guidance. So you kind of lead her over these holes and say, okay, you can go over these holes. And she becomes automatically, I'm cool with these holes. And then she kind of moves on herself and she learns. And eventually, like a little kid, you have to kind of say, no, don't do this. That's not safe now. It's all about...
You got the tentacle there, so you're sort of teaching her how to progress.
Exactly. It's all about balancing what she should be scared of and what she shouldn't be scared of and what's acceptable and what's safe and what's not. And it's up to the player's guidance, really.
And that's a really interesting sort of design approach, right? You're not playing as Baby.
No. You're her guardian.
She's got her own personality, her own things she's going to do, and you're this in every game you are a guiding force, but a lot of the times you're just directly guiding. This is an indirect control scheme.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of the things that makes it good for the Vita. I mean, it's just perfect. It's so simple just to touch the screen and get that emotional feedback of holding a little baby's hand. And it's like this girl is fragile and she's someone you want to care for, and that's really important to us. And as the game goes on, she grows into, she starts as a really timid girl that's scared of everything, and at the end of the game, she's a full-blown like infant who's not scared of anything.
Who's grown up.
Yeah, exactly. And the game becomes more about protecting her rather than guiding her, which is kind of really important.
Protecting her from the sinister
from the nasty
safety
stuff,
pins.
That's it.
Winged safety pins. No, thank you. I do not, like, my eyeballs are feeling really weird about that right now. So you're not just using the front touchscreen though here. It looks like there's some back touchscreen as well.
Exactly. So everything in the background is done through the back touch, which feels really natural. You basically change the moods of the game by you change into the windmill mood, for example, or the hell mood, and then you just tap on the back to activate his tool, and that just helps you progress through the game levels. So you saw there for a second, the stingers were coming down, and you used the windmill, and they got blown away by the wind. This section is kind of like an interlude where we're trying to give a little bit of backstory about the character. So I call him Tentacle Boy because I know he's a boy. I've been working on the game for 18 months now.
You got the inside track.
Yeah, exactly. No, everyone's going to know this. So we have to sort of give them the backstory and say, no, this little boy is actually just trapped in this tragic state, and it's your job to help him out, really. And so we kind of paint this little picture, and it's really cool. The other characters in the game are really clever. Like, we have a guy called Bunny Boy that's basically a disco kid that's been eaten by a bunny rabbit.
Disco kid been eaten by a bunny rabbit.
Oh yeah, totally. And then there's another girl called Perm Girl who's obsessed with her hair, and eventually her hair becomes like her overriding force, and you have to kind of save her from herself, or her hair, should I say. And there's kind of like, it's so twisted, but it's kind of cool.
And I think that, with a game like this that is so creative visually and, artistically, it's discovery is such a huge part,
exactly,
of the game. And, it's not like, you're branching out on these whatever path and exploring vast environments, but along this path that you're going, everything is kind of unexpected that you come across.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, what we kind of want is we want people to sort of, the aim is to get everyone to play the game all the way to the end, because we feel it's kind of important to get the punchline at the end. I won't ruin it, obviously, but we feel that it's got to be...
You would be fired immediately.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, no, it wouldn't be that. It'd be the dev team I'd be worried about, to be honest. They would kill me. So one of the things about the moods that's really important is that we want to interlace them so that you use one and then you use the combination of another one. So we've just made the situation rain there and then raise the boat up.
Yep.
And then we use the wind to get the sailboat across the road. Now, across the river. Later on in the game, we then subvert that and we take away a mood and then put you in the same situation. And you've got a different mood and you've got to solve the same puzzle with a different mood.
And you sort of got to, all right, well, I've done it this way.
Exactly. Oh, I think I know how to do this. I'm a clever clogs. And it's like, well, maybe not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, when you have a puzzle game, there's a couple different ways to do it. You sort of introduce stuff gradually, and then it grows and builds and gets more and more complex.
Yeah.
But I guess, it also, if you take certain things away, too, then you're forcing the player to use tools in different ways.
Yeah, and that's important, because what we want to do is give alternate ways to solve the same puzzle. And they're going to be like the really outside-the-box thinkers, and we've been watching a lot of people play it at E3, and they're kind of watching it, and they're going... And they've solved it in a way that I've not seen people solve a puzzle. And it's kind of interesting to see that. And it's like, it's really rewarding to watch people do something when you go, this guy's got it, and he gets the other way of doing it as well. And it's really exciting to watch that. So one of the things you see there is the multi-touch functionality on the Vita. We use the multi-touch quite a lot. So the balloon is like the precious thing that you've got to protect.
Yep.
And balloons are susceptible to spikes, and they're susceptible to heat, and they're susceptible to being frozen. And so they're very vulnerable things. Birds, exactly. Yeah. There's no birds in the game. Maybe we should put a bird.
Well, I mean, flying safety pins.
Yeah.
Kind of counts.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. They're the kind of the mosquitoes. So when it rains, out come the mosquitoes.
And that's also really cool. I like the sort of burnt matches that form, like, that looks like a burnt match, the flames there.
Yeah, exactly. So Tentacle Boy is kind of setting these traps for you because he doesn't want you to follow him and doesn't want you to chase him.
So you're basically just terrifying Tentacle Boy this whole time. Even though you're trying to help him, he's still totally frightened.
Exactly. He's just kind of shy. He doesn't want to be bothered, and you're kind of just chasing him through the level, and it's like, can you leave me alone? Mm-hmm. So there he goes again, he's setting fire to these things and sort of saying, no, don't go this way. So you can solve these puzzles by putting the rain down, and then you can just float the balloon above, and that'll expand the balloon and actually make it bigger. And there's kind of different ways of doing these same puzzles, really, which is really great.
Now, you and I are being inundated by the noises of E3. But
I've not noticed, but yeah, I'll take your word for it.
But the audio of Murasaki Baby, with a game this stylish and this moody, I imagine it's a huge part of
Absolutely,
the presentation.
yeah, vital. I mean, the audio is so important to the game. I'm blessed with 2 composers. So we have a guy called Gianni Ricciardi, who is the Oversonico's composer and co-founder, and he's made these amazing soundscapes. And he did the theme tune to the actual release trailer, and it's just so important to the game to get the emotional message across. And then we have Akira Yamaoka-san, who is a really famous guy who did the Silent Hill music and all that kind of stuff. And he's done a special track for Massimo. He's a personal friend, so he's done the title track for the game, and it's really special. And it's going to be over the end credits of the game. So that's another reason why we want everyone to play the game and finish it.
This does strike me as one of those games that, it builds and builds to that moment at the end they were talking about, and then, you stick around for it's sort of this complete artistic work in a way that is just so satisfying to play and experience it its entirety.
It's almost like a bespoke development. It's like everything that's gone in has gone in, and it's used once. It's not like rinse and repeat gameplay. It's everything's really crafted and really cleverly put together. And that's one of the things that Oversonico excel at is just doing everything with a fine touch of polish and finesse. So there we go. At the end of the chapter, basically we reveal that Tentacle Boy is actually a boy, and he becomes your friend.
And his mouth is over his eyeballs too.
Of course, yeah, makes so much sense. Yeah, and he leads you on to the next chapter of the level, basically,
right.
and you'll see Tentacle Boy again in the later end of the game, but I won't ruin that. And on you go, and you're going to try and find Mummy.
Going on to find Mommy and maybe a Disco Boy. I love the too long sleeve. The hand retracted,
great.
So many little touches here. Says Murasaki Baby coming soon at the end of that demo.
Yeah.
Soon.
So it's coming to PlayStation Vita on
Yes.
PSN exclusively, September 2014.
September.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty soon.
Yeah, it is pretty soon. It's coming in September.
Yeah, you guys got a little bit of ways to go before you can before that time.
Yeah. We're fine. We've got plenty of time, so I think we're good.
Excellent, Chris. Murasaki Baby, September to PS Vita and on PSN. Did you say, or just to?
Just PSN, it's PSN, PlayStation Vita. Yeah.
To the Vita.
Yeah.
Because of course that touch screen so integral to the game.
Exactly.
And, I'm trying to remember the last game that I held somebody's hand in. There are some, but I can't quite remember which they are. I'm sure the GameSpot chat will light up with hand-holding examples in video games while I say that.
Bonus
Chris,
points if you say Ico. Anyway.
Yeah, there it is. You got it.
There it is, yeah.
Chris, thank you so much, man, for coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
Showing off
Thank you.
Murasaki Baby. Beautiful game. Looking forward to that
Glad you
release
liked
in September.